After 7 long years of marriage, I believed I had everything: wealth that could buy comfort, a sprawling house that impressed everyone, respect in the community, and the kind of influence that made people bend to my will. In my arrogance, I thought that my ex-wife, the woman I had once loved, had nothing. I repeated it to myself every day, convinced that her life of struggle proved my superiority. But life, as it often does, had its own plans to humble me. One bright afternoon, I found myself wandering the crowded streets of Anarkali Market when my eyes froze. There she was, my ex-wife, quietly sitting on a low stool, selling toys to children who ran past her with laughter and innocence in their eyes. My chest tightened. Pride and disbelief collided with a strange pang of guilt. I wanted to look away, to pretend I hadn't seen her, but my ego pushed me closer. I approached, my voice filled with mockery, and said, "You lived like a queen in my house. Didn't any rich man pick you?" I expected tears, shame, or desperation, but she didn't flinch. She lifted her eyes calmly to my Land Cruiser, her gaze steady, almost indifferent, yet somehow more powerful than any words I could utter. That silence pierced deeper than any insult could have. I felt a mix of superiority and unease, and in a misguided attempt to assert my generosity, I handed her 100 rupees. "Take it," I said, "you need it more than me." She took it quietly, keeping her dignity intact, and said nothing. I walked away, believing I still held the upper hand, unaware that life had already begun to teach me its harshest lessons. Months later, the universe struck. I was accused of corruption. Headlines screamed my disgrace. Friends and colleagues vanished. Even my house, once a palace in my eyes, felt empty and meaningless. I was sent to jail, stripped of wealth, influence, and pride. Helplessness and fear became my constant companions. One day, during an inspection, the prison doors opened, and the assistant commissioner entered. My heart stopped, my blood ran cold, and I realized with shock that it was her, the same woman I had mocked, belittled, and pitted. She had transformed. Her posture radiated authority, her eyes shone with calm power, and every step she took demanded respect. She did not gloat, she did not humiliate me, she did not speak of the past. She simply carried out her duty with dignity. That moment struck me harder than any punishment could have. I had spent years mocking her, blind to the strength she possessed. She had endured hardship, rebuilt her life, and risen stronger than I could have imagined. I had believed wealth and power were the true measures of success, but she showed me the truth: resilience, character, and dignity are the real victories. I had fallen while she had risen. Not through revenge, but through patience, perseverance, and grace. My laughter at her poverty had been hollow. The universe had answered with a lesson in humility. That day, I understood the painful truth: life is fleeting, status is temporary, and arrogance can destroy even the proudest soul. True strength is not in mocking or humiliating others, but in facing hardship with dignity, in rebuilding oneself when life crumbles, and in treating others with respect regardless of their circumstances. She had taught me, without a word, that the real victory is earned through patience, integrity, and resilience, and that mocking anyone in their weakness is never a sign of strength. From that day forward, I carried the lesson in my heart. Never underestimate anyone, never judge based on appearances, never let pride blind you, and never forget that life's true rewards come to those who rise above bitterness, who persevere quietly, and who maintain their dignity, because wealth, power, and ego are fleeting, but character, respect, and strength of spirit are eternal.